Welcome to another episode of Dice at the Table Productions Tactical Onion, where we discuss the tactics and systems behind Rollmaster Unified. Today, being a Friday, I'm going to introduce a new thing. We are going to call this Creature Feature Friday. So, what is this about? Well, every Friday, I'm going to try and have a new creature from Rollmaster to highlight, discuss, and break down. So this map is from Forgotten Adventures. It's the generic Infinite Swamp. And over here, well, way down to the south, we have a party. We may or may not eat them later. We'll see. Way over here we have a lonely Tyrannosaurus Rex. Oh, he looks so sweet. Is he, though? Let's look at his stats. All right, let's bring him up. Alright, this is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. He has a lot of hit points, but as everybody knows, hit points are not necessarily the end-all be-all for a creature. That being said, he is a level 10 critter. So he is a tier 4 threat campaign monster. He's a pretty big beefy boy. Party level ideally is going to be between 8 and 12. That's for a party of 4 or more. I bring more personally because this guy is a chompzilla. Alright, so let's start looking at a few things real quickly. Alright, let's go to talents. Attack sequence. Creature has multiple attacks designed to be used together. When the first attack scores a critical, the creature follows it with a second attack. For example, a ram might lead to a trample. Note the trample attack can occur only if the attacker is +2 sizes greater than the target, or +1 size larger if the target has been knocked prone by the attacker. Or grapple to a bite. So the following up attack is treated as an instantaneous action with no penalty for using pure AP, with one tier shown as arrow over one arrow in the table of this talent, and follow up attack occurs following round, with 2 tiers shown as a double. I'm gonna call it double chevron. The follow up attack occurs immediately. So ram leads to bite. That is kind of a big frickin' deal. So keep that in mind. Ram lands a critical, bite. That sucks. And I'm going to tell you why it sucks in a few moments. Fast attack. Your quick reflexes permit you to attack before others. You gain +1/5 tier to your initiative. So, big, beefy, 5 to 7 ton, 30-foot long monster, 40 feet with tail. And he's fast. So don't sign me up for this encounter. I don't want this. Alright, here's the fun part. Creature's gaping maw is so large that it may swallow foes whole. Tier 1 may swallow foes 3 sizes smaller. Tier 2 is 2 sizes smaller. Tier 3, 1 size smaller. Resolve a grapple attack against the target in addition to the bite attack. At 100% grapple, the victim is forced into the stomach or gullet. So let's go back up here. So, ram, bite. If he gets a good solid chomp on you, he may be able to initiate a grapple. And once he gets at 100%, you're down his throat. That sucks. Let's see, it rolls right into this. As swallow, except any creature swallowed is subject to a C, tier 1, D, tier 2, or E, tier 3, acid critical each round until it's broken free or cut itself out, or has been consumed. So, what you have here is Sue the T-Rex here can charge at the party, ramming into them, hitting somebody, and then immediately following that with a bite. And if things go south, there it goes. Your tank or whatever just got eaten. That right there, just shock and awe. That would just be terrifying. I mean, there's a reason why we've all seen Jurassic Park. We all saw how the lawyer ran away. We saw what happened to the lawyer. Yeah. All right. So racially, pretty good hearing. Lesser attack. Your attack. Bite strike is weak relative to your size and is decreased by 1 size per tier. Claw. So teeny tiny T-Rex arms. Right? So fine. Cool. Claw attack, not probably going to be as big deal. natural armor at tier 2. So at tier 2, yeah, just natural armor. I mean, holy crap. I mean, thick 3 AT. Does mean that's nothing. That's not nothing, I should say. But I mean, that's equivalent. Let's see what kind of things it's equivalent to, just so we're all on the same page, right? Let's go to Rollmaster. We'll go to Core Law. We'll go to Equipment and Accessories. Armor. Tier 3, soft leather, right? So that's significant. Natural weaponry, bite, claws, although the claws are at -3 size. Third eyelid, transparent additional eyelid or nictitating membrane, which protects them while still permitting sight. You're unaffected by dust, sand, or water, which otherwise might limit your eyes. They have an acute sense of smell, but they do have poor vision. So from a player's perspective, that might be something to possibly exploit. Possibly one of the only weaknesses. -1 we'll get to in a minute. Alright, so it's an animal. It's not really going to use a lot of flanking maneuver tactics and group tactics and whatnot. Mute. Okay, so it's not going to communicate. It's going to yell and all that stuff. Doesn't really have equipment. It's carnivore. Has frenzy. Successful adrenal focus maneuver. Can enter frenzied rage. +5 strength bonus. Your attack is 1 size higher. You suffer no penalties due to hit loss. So, like, as Sue the T-Rex here takes damage, the GM does an adrenal focus maneuver, succeeds. They succeed, goes into frenzy, no longer takes any negatives for loss of hit points. Yeah, it's just that's all sorts of nasty. So let's look at a skill for adrenal focus. And so it's +35. That's nothing to shake at. Nothing to just ignore. Let's just look at ram +149, bite +149, claw +149. So remember that ram, bite, swallow combo? Yeah, let's see that in effect. So let's have our erstwhile adventurers, which is a party of 6. Let's just have them traveling along. A couple of them got left behind because they got stuck behind trees. My bad. Why is it always the ranger? I think the ranger should be more towards the front. Again, these are my generic characters. They're also under level. They're level 6, so this is not going to go well for them. So you have a scenario where you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's right, I added a guy. We probably don't want to be that close. Let's move over here, guys. Yeah, that'll work. And we'll face them. Now, I do want to point out one kind of neat thing. We'll go into module management. I wanted to show you guys there are a couple of new modules. The one I want to talk about is RMU Combat Zones. Alright. This is very useful. This is the linking information and whatnot. But basically what this does, I'll just show you. We'll select one guy. I apologize for the rumbly throat. I'm still getting over a cold. 'Tis the season, right? So you go over here, toggle combat zones. So, I've got the ranger selected. This shows me this entire green area, right? That's my front. These are my flanks. This is my rear. This circle right here is how far my weapon goes. So if I pull up Argon Combat Hud and they go to melee, broadsword. So this is his range, right? So anything in here I can attack. So if I were to move the warrior monk right there, and then just a little bit more. There we go. And the ranger decided to target him, and this is just to demonstrate, right? He's in range. But if the warrior monk was right here, and I target him, attack range for broadsword is 6 feet, which puts the target out of reach at 10.72 feet. So there you go. It basically, this is a nice little quick, is it in range? Am I in range of it? Am I being flanked, etc.? Nice little requested feature that was provided, and that's pretty awesome. And that's sweet. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But let's take the T-Rex. That's the T-Rex's range. That's pretty beefy. So, let's have the T-Rex turn around. That's pretty fun. Alright, now we have a situation here. Tyrannosaurus is not a fair fight. It's a living siege engine that punishes poor positioning, fear responses, and clustered formations. The opening frame should establish inevitability and danger. So, if you're clustered, and or you're like heavy melee classes, and obviously these guys are not ideally positioned because I've got like the ranger here, I got the rogue over here, I got the tank in the back. You know, I'm just kind of showing this as a demonstration. If you guys are in close proximity, it can charge, do that little ram, bite combo. Oh, there just went your tank, and you guys are all clustered together, so it doesn't have to go very far to keep eating, right? So it looks like spreading out might be the tactic you want to use. All right, so primary threat for the threat profile of the T-Rex. Extreme concussion and critical severity. This thing slaughters. I put it up against a Cyclops just for fun, and its first hit killed the Cyclops. And just to give you an idea, Cyclops is level 8. Granted, T-Rex is level 10, but just to give you an idea, like wham, just like ripped off the leg of the Cyclops. It was pretty freaking awesome. Alrighty, so opening, it's going to charge, probably scream, charge, targets heavy melee first, knock down and trample. If it's open terrain, it will use open terrain to deny safe engagement. It will treat fallen PCs as obstacles. Keep in mind that whole trample thing, so if it knocks you down with a ram, and it somehow doesn't just gobble you right up, it can tromp right over you. Alright. Rarely retreats unless severely wounded or overwhelmed by environmental pain. So like if you get into an area it can't get to, or if you're like if everybody like runs into a canyon and there's like a cave and you can get in there and it can't fit, there you go. If you can get the high ground, it will probably try to leave or reposition. It might even go like a couple miles out of the way to come back later on. So even if you drive a T-Rex off, it can come back, and it 50-50 will come back. Okay, how can you counter this? This is pretty insane, right? How would you guys counter this thing? I'm thinking preparation. I'm thinking keeping people spread out. If you can somehow lock down its movement. So let's look at the movement, right? We'll break this down real quick. 55 feet around, so it's more than twice as... Its movement is more than twice of what everybody else has, so you're not outrunning it. So, how would you go against this? Honestly, I am thinking spread out, use the environment when possible. So like trees, things like that, to impede its movement or to impede its attacks. get behind stuff, for God's sakes. And I think just hit it from multiple directions at once. It is an animal, so you could confuse it. You know, the players could make an argument to like confuse an animal, because like it's not a tactical thinking. You know, it's not a lich. It's not a vampire. It's not sentient like that. It is an animal. It has it should behave with animal instincts. So maybe that's the path to go. Just to give you an idea, here's our paladin. Here's a T-Rex. Again, this party is not well positioned, and they are also under-leveled. But hey, well, I have not done one of these in a while, where we haven't had a fight. So let's see what happens. All right, so we are going to use the action phases 4 per round. I do want to make sure. Okay, I got epic combat theme. Great, whatever. Blah blah blah. All right, so we are going to roll. Let's initiate a fight. Oh, and first things first, I'm also going to take this, slide this over here so we can have the chat screen open, and we're going to begin the fight. Alright, so the first person up is the Sorcerer. Now I'm going to shut this down for a second. Alright, so the Sorcerer. Okay, let's see. I'm a level 6 Sorcerer. I just about crap my pants seeing a T-Rex. What are the things I'm going to do? You know what? I might go with a Mind Destruction. He seems kind of like a dumb animal. Maybe I can get some debuffs going on with some Mind Destruction. Alright, so we got Minor Pain. And we got Major Pain. Now, Major Pain is only at a +1. Minor Pain's at a +21. Causes loss of 25% of targets' remaining concussive hits. These hits are healed when the duration is up, provided the target has not died. So it lasts for 10 minutes, or 5 on a fail. 5 more on a fail, yeah. Range is 100, so I'm definitely within range. So I think I'm going to hit it with a Minor Pain. So first things first, make sure to target. Always target, because the game doesn't like... Yeah. I need to unselect everybody else. Here we go. And spell. Mind Destruction. Minor Pain. Alright, so we roll. 84, ain't bad. Alright, so then I gotta go to the Dino. We're gonna do a Channeling Resistance. Okay, so target's 105, right? 27. Failure by 57. Alright. We go back to this guy here. Mind Destruction. Already landed it. Okay, so I'm supposed to deduct 25% of the T-Rex's hit points. Okay, so that is 120. Okay, let's get some calculator out here. I'm not the greatest at math. I apologize. I can do all right, but I'm a little tired. Little news flash, guys. On Fridays, I work a graveyard shift. Little behind base, behind you know, how the sausage is made. I'm having a hard time right now. I work graveyard, and Fridays are my first day off. So like Friday morning, I get off work. I don't go to bed. So we're gonna take 468 times 0.25 equals 117. So 468 minus 117 equals 351. 351. Alright, and this is for about 10 minutes. The T-Rex is either going to be dead or the party's going to be dead. So that's a good start. And with that, we will end the Sorcerer's turn. We're just going to pause this thing here is called Hurry Up. It's a nice little incentive to get your party moving. Alright, so the Ranger, we're going to assume the Ranger had already switched to the bow and it's already pooped themselves. So that being said, I think the Ranger, we'll just have him shoot. Let's see what happens. He's not firing into melee. At this point, we're just hoping that for good, solid crits. Okay, so 23 plus 22. And some bleed. This is not bad. So, obviously one of the tactics is go before the T-Rex, right? And that's, can we all agree that's just basically Rollmaster, like tactic 0 is go before the next guy. All right, so Paladin, and I kind of ignored how the round phases went with this because technically the Sorcerer and the Ranger wouldn't be attacking just yet, but we're just kind of simplifying this. So if I have the Paladin, and I use this, obviously I'm not in range yet. So I think the Paladin takes a 5-foot step. And he might go like right here, because this tree right here might give him some cover. But his job as the Paladin is, you know, he's the tank in this case. I think the Warrior Monk's going to do the same thing. He's going to move 5 feet this way. And that's the movement rate. You know, 21 divided by 4 equals 5.25. See, I can do some math. T-Rex. And this is where everything goes horribly wrong. Right? There is one thing I do need to bring up. I wanted to show this. There's a recent brand new RMU Movement Range Finder. This just came out, I think yesterday or this morning. I've not used it yet, but I've heard about it. Bob was telling me about it. We're going to test this out. This is supposed to make the movement thing a lot easier. Let's see what happens. All right, we're back here. I got to pop out the encounter thing again. Okay, so all right, so movement is enabled. We got our Argon going. See, I like how this tells you in the lower left-hand corner your base movement rate, limit sprint, phase move, dedicated movement. I wish you could just click on these right here, and then that would tell you how far you could move in like a round or something, but let's just... Okay, so that's his walk, right? So that's 10 feet. So 55, so he could have a little bit more than 10 feet, but yeah, 13.5 doesn't technically round up. So yeah, I'm still using the 5-foot hex thing. I know you can disable hexes, so you can actually have like real true movement, and I may be going to that in the near future, especially with combat zones, movement, some of these other modules. It might just be easier to go hexless. But for now, I'm sticking to the hexes. It's also going to be up to what my players are comfortable with. And they've always been either grid or hex. I like hex for Rollmaster. We used to do grid on, well, we still do grid on Pathfinder. Alright, so T-Rex moves 10 feet. He walks like thud, thud, thud. A couple of steps. Paladin's in trouble. Maybe the mage can save him. Let's see what happens. Okay, first of all, target the mage. Do this. Tell this to pause. Alright, this is a standard mage. I think I'm going to go with Ice Law, hoping against hope that I can freeze this sucker with something cold. I think we're going to go with Ice Bolt. So we're going to make our roll. Success. And now we're going to do our attack. Oh, for some reason he untargeted the... What the heck? Oh, technical difficulties. There we go. And see, so something different from D&D and other games like that. you have to, a lot of spells, you have to make a roll to successfully cast them. Especially if you're like overcasting or you're trying something you're not familiar with. There's rules in spell law that like specifically detail this out. But you have to successfully cast the spell, and now you attack them. You attack, right? And so if you look at like this spell right here, it's just spell roll. It's just a spell check roll, SCR, right? These are SCR and OB. This means you make the spell check roll first. You succeed. If you succeed, you then do the offensive attack, right? So here we go. It's at plus 64. Let's see what happens. Holy crap, 98? The fight might be over, folks. Oh, no. Let's see what happens. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is a beefy strike. 42 decrit ice. Now there's a penalty to -3 for size because he's a big dude being hit. Gets hit in the head on the right side. The decrit. Foe's head hits the ground hard enough to give him a concussion. Momentary double vision means foe misses completely on his next attack. Okay, so that's 42 plus 39. Very stunned, very stunned, very stunned. That is 3 different stuns. Prone, staggered, and something broke. Ow. Okay, so prone, gonna fall down. Staggered, that's impressive too, because the T-Rex is now done for the round. Okay, because it used 1 action point to stride forward, to walk forward 10 feet. It only has 4. Well, with prone, in order to get up, it takes 2, and staggered, you automatically lose 1. So the T-Rex is done for the round, right? Bam. And that would be Ripper's splatter module. I think it might be a little too excessive, but it definitely leaves an impression. And with that, the mage is done. Alright, so the cleric here. Let's see what the cleric has. I gave the cleric Light's Way specifically so I can try and do Shock Bolt. Now, it's a higher level spell. It's level 7. Cleric's level 6, so it's overcasting. It's casting a spell that's higher than your level, blah, blah, blah. So it is a -5 on the spell check roll. But if I succeed, it's an offensive bonus roll with no bonus. So this is a recent spell acquisition, and might go horribly wrong. Let's see. Oh boy, 01. That is a fucking fumble. Roll failure.
Delta is name.
Lost a spell and the PP to cast it, because that's what happened. Already lost the PP, so yeah, okay. But it's a failure, so this ain't doing. I'm just gonna do this for fun. Okay, so if it had worked, it didn't. But if it would work, this was, yeah, it missed. Alright, so the cleric's done. Rogue. Sneaky, sneaky rogue. Where are you at? There you are. Okay, so the rogue can dash 23 feet. So 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the rogue is charging towards the down T-Rex. That's it for its round. Okay, I think the only person who has something left to do is the paladin. Now, remember, the paladin moved a little bit, and I screwed up the whole round 1 phasing thing. So the paladin technically has an attack available, and he's going to take it. Of course, it helps if I target the right guy. This is not a problem that the players normally have to handle or deal with. Okay, so this is... I took 1 action point. Stunned, prone, 2-handed attack. This might be a really solid attack. 35C, 24. Yeah, that's pretty beefy, and that's going to end the turn because everybody else is gone. Now, one of the things I need to do is every round you're supposed to do initiative, so we're re-rolling. I think I'm technically supposed to reset initiative and then roll initiative. There we go. Alright, so this is where we're at. Warrior Monk's going to go first, but first let's look at the T-Rex. Under conditions. Okay, so the T-Rex has minus 85, right? It got rid of the negative 75 penalty for the stun, because it finished a round. But it still has 75 total between the other two. It's bleeding 2 hits a round. It's prone and staggered. This is going to cost... Oh, yeah, it would have gotten up. My bad. Because it actually stood up and lost a... Stood up for 2 and lost an action point for being staggered. Alright, so it does have some penalties here still under the condition. So that sucks. Alright, let's move to the Warrior Monk, who should be able to get their thing in. Okay, so the Warrior Monk can move 5 feet, and that's a walk. And now we're going to try and remember to use the phase thing. So 5 feet. Okay, so the Ranger, this right now, action is going to be to reload. That costs 1. Reloading their bow. The Sorcerer is preparing a spell. I'm curious, what spell should I have the Sorcerer prepare? We'll go for a Flesh Destruction spell. Because, you know, why not? We'll go for Disruption. I don't think he has the range. No, he does not. Okay. He's got the range for that one, though. Break limb. Okay, so making the roll. Oh, actually, this... My bad. Let's get rid of this. He's preparing to cast that. I need to remember that. He's going to take, like, a full turn for that. So, round 2, phase 4, he's going to cast Break Limb. Paladin. Okay, he's going to prepare to attack the T-Rex. Again, he can attack phase 2 at 50%, and then phase 4 at 50%, because he can do 2 attacks, or he can do 1 attack at phase 4. Cleric. Nobody's hurting yet except the T-Rex. So... how about we have the Cleric target the T-Rex. And these are all heals. So... you know what? Maybe we can do a protection on the Paladin. We're going to do that. We're going to give the Paladin the defensive bonus, because I think the Paladin might get chewed on here pretty soon.
Tazul Karian.
Okay, so Prayer, let's just review that. Plus 5 bonus to resistance rolls, maneuver rolls, duration is 10 minutes per level. If cast on a mobile target, the spell will last as long as the caster concentrates. Alright, so until he moves, he has a plus 5 defensive bonus. That's the important part for when the T-Rex stands up and eats him. Mage is going to prepare a spell. I think this time the mage is going to go for fire. Yeah, I think he's going to go for a firebolt. Okay, so round 2, phase 4. Mage is going to hit him with a firebolt. Rogue. Rogue is now running. I can go one more and it's a run. Okay, that's it for him. He's going to spend the entire time moving that far because the Paladin's about to get eaten. So the Rogue's going to try to get in there and get a flanking attack in. I think the Rogue's going to aim for like right about here. And if we target our buddy, looks like the Rogue's going to target right there. And then we'll give him a flank attack on the back right of the T-Rex. Provided the T-Rex doesn't turn, which it probably is going to do. Alrighty. T-Rex was prone and staggered last round. Used the entire round to do that. This round, this is where things get to start to get hurting. He can attack the Paladin. So he is going to bite and possibly swallow the Paladin. And round 2, phase 4. Alright. Warrior Monk. He's going to move another 5 feet. So I like how it tracks it right there for me. So he's going to move another 5 feet, which should put the Warrior Monk and yeah, the Warrior Monk's got to move another 5 feet. Jesus, that's going to suck. It's one of the things about larger creatures is they have the range, and sometimes you got to get closer to them and basically put yourself inside their threat circle, and that sucks. All right. Ranger is now preparing to attack. So use the first round 2, phase 1 to reload. Phases 2, 3, and 4 are going to be fire and arrow. So at round 4, phase 4, we'll be launching an arrow. Sorcerer is still preparing. Paladin is winding up to swing. Cleric is going to be casting that spell, which will land right before the T-Rex bites the Paladin. So Cleric's done. Mage is preparing. Rogue is moving. T-Rex is winding up. Warrior Monk. I'm going to see if the Warrior Monk can actually attack this guy with a fist. Use 2. So we'll see if we can land this. Oh, he's actually in range. The dice gods are very, very much in favor of this party. Let's give him a little hi-ya. So 12ZT. Okay, that's 12 plus 22. Blow to shoulder makes foe show signs of weakness. Applying damage. The T-Rex is getting its butt kicked. Alright, and that is going to conclude the Warrior Monk's actions. Ranger, this is phase 3, so bow is about to hit. Sorcerer, okay, Paladin, Cleric, Mage, Rogue, T-Rex. Here we go. So even though there's 4 phases, once everybody's declared stuff, you can kind of burn through this. And I'm obviously simplifying this because players can always change their mind. Warrior Monk is gone. It is now phase 4. This is where the Ranger is going to fire a bow. Helps the feathers. He fires his bow. He's still stunned, but no longer prone. That is a shit shot. But okay, that is a good hit. A low roll, but a double 100. A double lot. That is nice. 14Y puncture, plus 3, plus bleed. Hits him in the face. That's a good hit. Ranger's done for the round. Sorcerer. Remember I had said the Sorcerer was going to use Flesh Destruction. Where is it? Break Limb. There it is. So here's what we're going to do. Now we do this. Alright, so 30. Target number is 51. We're going to do the roll. Let's see what happens. Ooh, see that negative 72 is really going to screw it up. 49. Succeeded. Oh, needed a negative 72 or better. Got it, because it's big dude. Got it. Okay, so the spell doesn't do its thing. The Paladin is swinging its swing. 25. That's a crit. Not a very good one. But this stuff adds up. That concludes the Paladin. Cleric. I already cast the spell. It now lands. Paladin is +5 defensive bonus for when the T-Rex hits him. Mage. Remember, I said the mage was going to do a fire attack, so here we go. Fire law. Fire bolt. Here we go. Success. Here we go for the attack. Oh no. That is a heat crit. 12 and 23. Knocking the T-Rex down again and staggering him. Yeah, okay, so if you can prone and stagger the T-Rex, basically you're just combat locking him. Alright, mage is done. Rogue finishes his move. T-Rex still has hit points. Go under conditions. So had 4 action points. Now has 3 because he's staggered. Spends 2 to get up. Has 1 left. I don't know what the hell the guy can do. You know what? I think I'm going to try and bite at -3. Let's try that. So, 3. Because the whole point was it was going to bite the Paladin. So it's just continuing to do that after it gets up with just a shit attack. That's a total miss. And that's it for that round. We're now round 3, phase 4. Quick, let's pause this. Warrior Monk is in range. T-Rex is no longer prone. And everybody who's listening, you can hear my dog being a dog. He likes to bark every time. It's like his thing. He barks when I'm doing this. It's rather annoying. Almost like hitting the wrong damn button over and over again. Wondering why it's not working. T for target, not Y for target. Ooh, 71. That's going to be a crit. Alright. So, pushing him back 5 feet. Okay, so he hits him in the head, hits him right in the snout, and our boy here, boy, girl, whatever, staggers back 5 feet. Doesn't change facing, though. And I should have done that for phase 4 of the fucking monk. I always kind of default to, like, D&D rounds. It's something that I'm going to have to work on. My players are going to work on. Alright. Ranger is reloading. Sorcerer is going to prepare another spell. Let's look at the options. That's kind of a bit of a beefy one. We'll go for Sprain Limb. Okay, so preparing to cast Sprain Limb. Paladin. Gonna stride forward 5 feet. And be attacking the T-Rex at some point. Cleric. I think Cleric's gonna go. He's gonna spend his whole round walking forward. We'll go, yeah, whole round walking forward. Mage is gonna hit him with another fire spell. Rogue. 5, 10, 15, 20. So this is what the rogue's going to be doing for the whole thing, is advancing that way. T-Rex. T-Rex is probably going to turn, and I'm going to try and bite the Paladin at the end of the round. I don't know if the T-Rex is going to make it. next up. Okay. Warrior Monk. Warrior Monk already went, so we're good. Ranger preparing to fire. Sorcerer preparing to spell. Paladin preparing to attack now that he's moved, so it'll be a -1 AP when he actually swings, or -25. Cleric has moved. Magician preparing. Rogue has moved. T-Rex is preparing. Warrior Monk done. Ranger done. Sorcerer done. Paladin done. Cleric done. Mage done. Rogue done. T-Rex done. Okay, done. Now we got the fire. Okay, so everything I said about the T-Rex being kind of scary, you can see with the proper application of a lot of... Oh, he's done now. A lot of good crits, and he's out. So yeah, solid crits from a large group does take out the T-Rex. But let me see what would happen if the T-Rex was, say, fully healed. We'll make sure everybody's fully healed. I'll use my little fully restored macro. My dog is now being a dick. Okay, so a T-Rex targeting the Paladin. Let's go with Bite. Actually, sorry. Let's go with Ram. So strides forward to, we'll do -25. So sprints forward 10 feet, rams the Paladin. This is, that wasn't even a high roll. 33 E crush, left leg. Ow. The weapon comes down on the foe's foot. Okay, so basically slams into his foot and arm. He survives. I want new shoes. So, bam, right? Now, that was a crit. And remember, go back to our talents, right? It's a tier 2. So the follow-up attack is a free bite. So a 10-foot kind of stumble charge allows the T-Rex to follow up the ram with a bite. So this is only an 11. That's a crit. 53. That is 39 more points, plus 2 points, plus 21 points, plus now he's bleeding. He's jacked the heck up. Now watch, let's zoom in. This is his health already after the ram attack. Bam, there you go. Right? That sucks. That really sucks. Now, resolve a grapple attack against the target in addition to the bite attack. So let's do a grapple attack now. I don't know how I'm going to set that up. Skill? How would I set up a grapple attack? Let's look at his skills. He doesn't actually have grapple. Because normally you see it go like here, unarmed, wrestling. Okay, I don't know within the system how to actually handle a grapple attack. Alright, new thing to figure it out and work. But as you can see, just even without the grapple swallow whole combo, which I'm going to figure that out because that is frickin' devastating. A Paladin versus a T-Rex. Paladin had 118 hit points, now he's got 19, right? Now, obviously, in the first demo that I showed, they beat the T-Rex. I just wanted to show you what would happen if the T-Rex went first, essentially. Which, that really does kind of seem to be the key element, is get the best tactic, go before the bad guy. All right, again, I've healed everybody up. Giant puddle of blood. Uh, Always fun. Alrighty, so there's kind of a breakdown for you. I still feel that, I mean, I set this up as almost a straight fight. I definitely think that if you were like in a jungle or something like that, and the T-Rex could uh, ambush you, hears you, catches your scent, knows you're coming, and as an ambush predator, that'd be a thing. I think if you get in a situation where you see them from 100 or 200 feet and you can spread out, I definitely think you can whittle them down. Some high level crits, as you saw, stagger prone, stagger prone, stagger prone, dead. Right? That was basically how this whole thing worked out. Um, Obviously, Sorcerer doing debuffs that land. It lost 25% of his hit points at the very beginning, right? With Mind Destruction. Very useful, very effective. Yeah, that's 25 hit points right there. And then getting ahead of it and getting ahead of the T-Rex, landing crits before it could. All very useful. So, spread out range attacks. That's kind of what you saw. Because the Paladin, yeah, he landed some hits. Warrior Monk landed some hits. Rogue never even got a chance. It was basically our boys in the back over here that really got it done. So range attacks, go first. Beat it in initiative. Range attacks, attack from distance, make it close with you. It does not have any range attacks. The T-Rex could spit acid 100 feet, probably be a different story. That's a whole other monster. And that's basically a dragon without wings, right? All right. I think that basically covers it, everybody. This has been Dice at the Table and Tactical Onion. Please try out Roll Master Unified from Iron Crown Enterprises. I would also recommend trying it on Foundry, as I've demonstrated here. A lot of the math gets handled with a virtual tabletop. It makes it to where your party can concentrate on the fun. All the crits, all the hits, none of the accounting. I know it's tax season, but some of us don't like doing the accounting, right? Like I said, I'm bad at math sometimes. Other than that, if you like this and you're interested in Rollmaster, please go to Drive-Thru RPG. I will have an affiliate link in the I'm spacing the name. I'll have it below the video. There we go. In the description. Like I said, guys, I'm tired. I will have it in the description for you guys. Uh, please give it a shot. And if you're still on the fence, I will have more of these videos. I think next week I'm going to design a creature. Why don't you guys give me an idea? Like under comments, like what kind of creature you'd like to see designed. Something range, something magical, something not obviously in Creature Law 1 because it's already there. Um, some kind of goblinoid or orc or derivative ogre or I don't know, something new. Um, you guys let me know if you want something like that. Otherwise I'll make a different I'll make something else. I'll make something else. You guys have a good day. I will see you guys later.